weird time to be alive, first of all.
It's a weird time to be anyone.
All right, back with some more Tom MacDonald, straight white male. Let's get into it.
Straight white male, hate myself. Mad that my skin so pale, got white privilege so I cannot fail. The world told me I'm evil still. I break the law but I escaped the jail. My diet only mayonnaise and kale. I went to school and I pay my taxes. I used to grammar, I'm bad as hell. I'm not a Nazi, I like black people.
Wait, what did he say about grammar?
He's used to grammar or something?
Oh, wait. I gotta run this back,
Evil style. I break the law, but I escaped the jail. My diet only mayonnaise and kale. I went to school and I pay my taxes. I used to grammar, I'm bad as hell. I'm not a Nazi. I like black people, black Jesus, black Santa, black coffee. I'm not a racist. I like Hispanics and Negroes and Natives and Asians. Black.
Okay. This is making, what's that song called? The black one? We haven't released it yet. We recorded that. The black, what is it?
If I Was
Black. Mm-hmm. It's making it make a little more sense. Because we've already recorded If I Was Black. I recorded that. We haven't released it yet. It's a little, we didn't know what was going on in there. So we're like, should we release it? Should we not? Did we do a good job? we didn't know. We were very confused. But then this is making it make a little more sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's white privilege, mayonnaise and kale. It's like, obviously, not all white people just sit around eating mayonnaise and kale.
Right.
It's kind of like a parody, kind of, you know what I mean? Exaggerating stereotypes and stuff like that. Well, when we did the If I Was Black, we didn't know, like, the angle he was going with it. So
we were just like, this is
we're like, what?
Not exactly.
Right.
We're like, you're not wrong, but it's not everyone.
Right. We didn't know what was going on. But yeah, this is, okay. We should do this one first. But yeah, it's making a little more sense.
Yeah.
My taxes, I used to grammar, I'm bad as hell. I'm not a Nazi. I like black people, black Jesus, black Santa, black coffee. I'm not a racist. I like Hispanics and Negroes and Natives and Asians. Black power says I'm the problem. Girl power says I'm the issue. Gay rights think I'm trying to stop them. I'll let y'all trip and I'll get you some tissues. Y'all have been painting me villainous. I'm not the one setting fire to your villages. I'm not the man that is raping and pillaging. I do not care if my neighbors are immigrants. Maybe all whites look the same and you think that I'm somebody else. That's cool. Honestly, I think that everyone looks alike if they aren't white, and I'm sorry, it's true.
Oh, interesting. I always wondered that. Like,
what?
A lot of black, like he said, I think that everyone looks alike if they're not white, and I'm sorry, it's true. And I feel like he was joking, but he was also like, it is a thing. Like, people who don't really look like you kind of think they look more similar than the people.
Well, not just like you, the people you're raised around.
Right.
And like most people marry within their race, like statistically. So you're going to be raised in a family with a bunch of people who look similar to you, so you recognize the facial differences in, like, your race more easily. You know what I mean?
Right. But I always wondered that. Like, I mean, that's just an interesting thing because I feel like, you know, socially, we're not supposed to say the things that, like, behind closed doors everyone knows is a fact. But it's like, oh, they get in trouble for saying it. But it's like, then kids end up like, what is true? And what, like, you know what I mean? If you don't say it, we just all have a straw man and pretend that.
It's BS.
You know, kids be like, what?
It is BS. What was that one part? Should have paused it. But he was talking about basically how everyone hates a straight white male. He's like, gays think that he's basically trying to impress them.
Some tissues.
Yeah. It's like, it's a weird time to be a straight white male.
It is. But, I mean.
Super weird time.
It's a weird time, but it's like.
It's a weird time to be alive, first of all.
It's a weird time to be anyone.
It is. Especially if you don't agree with the mainstream narrative.
Yeah.
It's like, straight white male, you're just the final, like, villain on a video game. The super boss.
Right.
You're the worst thing in the world kind of thing. And then if you're black, you don't agree with all the narratives supposed to agree with, then you're a coon or Uncle Tom or a bootlicker and all these things. So it's just a weird time to have some common sense. Very weird.
If you're a female and you don't agree with it, then you're a traitor and
you're a traitor to your
brainless.
Gender.
What is it? You're like controlled by the patriarchal masculine.
Right.
Like your husband beats you.
Yeah.
Somebody literally in the comments, guys, they literally said, I bet Brad is going to go and beat her after they get done filming or something like that. I was like, this.
They said they were getting woman beater vibes.
I'm like, this is off the chain. Like, are you kidding me? But yeah, it's very
I
odd.
thought what they want is for you to be cutting me off all the time and like just, this is the Lex show and Brad's a submissive guy.
They want to say Lex and Brad.
The matriarchy is back, or it was never here, but let's make it a matriarchy, and it's not really like that. So people get mad. People get mad all the time.
Yeah, they want it to be like the Lex and Brad show.
We had a comment one time where they were like, it was like, Lex is afraid to stand up to Brad, but I'm not. STFU. Lex needs to do episodes by herself, and Brad needs to get off the show. I was like, what is wrong with you?
Guys, I can only imagine, like, the celebrities and stuff. Like,
right?
Comments are brutal. I can only imagine, like, the hate Tom gets as a straight white male, you know? Like, he's a face of a straight white male.
Right.
Yeah.
Who isn't afraid to speak his mind. So that's even worse than just being a straight white male. Like, that's bad enough to be a straight white male. It's like half of society hates you just for being straight white male. You know what I mean? But then to be one who speaks freely.
You know what I always think is so interesting, too?
What?
So, like, if you go to, like, a random foreign country and you see another American, even if, you know, you're white and they're black, or you're black and they're white, you'll find that you have a lot more in common with them than, like, somebody who might look like you from, like, Eastern Europe or from somewhere in Africa or something, you know? Like, you'll find that, like being American truly is, like culturally, to me, it is, like, the most uniting thing. But, you know, among us Americans, then it's like, well, black people might be more similar to each other and white people might be more similar. But I studied abroad twice. Really.
But what about class?
Well, that too. Class probably more than anything, except also it's like the class in the first world countries is totally different than class in other countries. So it's like if you meet someone of a poor class in, you know, Ecuador, it's totally different than like someone of a poor class in the U.S.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like it's like, or like, you know, in Thailand or something, it's like you're still rich even if you're poor in the U.S.
Right.
So I think, I don't know, I just find that being an American does actually end up like uniting people. And like when I studied abroad, it was like I was able to connect with people that I would never have really had conversations with or anything if we would have been like in the U.S. You know what I mean? Like you just look totally different.
I mean, within the U.S., I find that like trying to predict the similarities I have with another person, I can't do it based on skin color.
No.
It doesn't work for me.
You can't. And maybe at the very surface level, like shared type of cultural experiences, but other than that, it's like you'd be surprised.
Care if my neighbors are immigrants. Maybe our whites look the same and you think that I'm somebody else. That's cool. Honestly, I think that everyone looks alike if they aren't white, and I'm sorry, it's true. I have it all, I'm the one that you love to hate. Straight white man. Police pull me over, I LOL in their face. Straight white man. Guess I'm to blame for the life that you can't escape. Straight white man. It's so easy to be me, I'm feeling great. Straight white male, I'm so frail. Mama gotta pay my bail. Shotguns and meth are both on sale. I'ma need to treat myself. I only listen to country music. I only marry my second cousins. I only cry when my team is losing. I blame everything on the blacks and the Muslims. Y'all blame me for building the system. Y'all blame me for wages we're paying the women. Y'all blame me for rights that gay people aren't giving. You blame me for talking when I should just listen. You blame me the same me the praise that we winning, and hate me for slavery. And lately I'm tripping that daily you shame me for having opinions on race in our country and everything in it. Fine.
Okay. What do we got? Slavery, the wages women are paid for talking. You're supposed to just listen.
Marrying second cousins. Blaming everything on the blacks and the Muslims. This, I totally get now the if I was black.
Right?
Because it's
we
like,
butchered that one.
Maybe we should release it after this one.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like getting used to his style as an artist. It's like he's very satirical, I feel like.
Right. Well, the thing that threw me off with the black one is like, well, he doesn't know what it's like to be black. And so it's like, oh, is he just like doing a parody, or is he like trying to see what it's like and trying to give a different perspective? Yeah. That's what threw me off. We did this one first, we would have known, oh, this he knows what it's like to be white. So this is obviously like some kind of parody about all the crazy, exaggerated, stupid things people say.
But, okay, so this then makes that one extra interesting because now I'm like, dang, so white people actually know that not all black people are. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's literally like he knows the inside. I mean, of course, being in hip hop, I'm sure he knows a little bit more black culture, but it's like he was saying a lot, and we were like, does he know? Does he not know? But it's like, oh, clearly we know. So like,
right.
Maybe the freaking media of like, stereotypes isn't actually as like detrimental to like people's psychology as we think.
People who are not afraid to think. You know what I mean? 'Cause I feel like everyone is capable of thinking. You know what I mean? Or critically thinking. I feel like some people are afraid to do it. Afraid to question how they grew up.
You think everyone's capable?
For the most part.
I think so.
I would say as a rule.
Okay.
Well, I mean, do you think everyone is born male or female?
Well, yes.
Exactly. But there are some people who say they're switched up different. Whatever. I think as a general rule, everyone is born capable of thinking. And maybe there are some people who are switched up and can't think. Okay. About the same percentages of people who don't believe in male. You know what I mean?
It's like
I think everyone can think. I think people are taught not to think. Just like people who go into a cult. They went in, before they went into that cult, they were thinking. And they were taught not to think.
That's true.
So I feel like it's kind of like that. People are afraid to think, afraid to question what their social circle is telling them, what they see on the news, what their parents taught them, or whatever. But I feel like everyone can think. They're afraid to think.
That's true. That's true.
I don't even know why I was talking about thinking. I lost my whole train of thought.
Well, okay, so we were talking about like the other video and like how people aren't as affected by stereotypes as it seems like they might be.
Oh yeah, because people can think and they have experiences with people who don't fit the stereotype. That's
true.
So like, people who are not afraid to think. Oh, that's what I'm talking. People who are not afraid to think know that these stereotypes are not 100% true for everyone. You know what I mean? Like they exist for a reason, but it's not like every black person is the stereotype you see on TV. Like people know that.
In the daily, you shame me for having opinions on race in our country and everything in it. Fine, y'all don't gotta be my friends. Y'all don't gotta like white men. Y'all don't gotta hold my hand. Y'all don't gotta have my back. Y'all don't gotta see my side. Y'all don't gotta be down to ride. Y'all don't gotta do anything but ghost. And I'ma do me even when it's the most. Yeah. Straight white man. I have it all. I'm the one that you love to hate. Straight white man. Pull me over, I LOL in their face. Straight white man. Yes, I'm to blame for the life that you can't escape. Straight white man. It's so easy to be me, I'm feeling great. Man, you're so mean, you're so mean.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Please pull me over, I LOL in their face. I feel like, okay, that's the vibe of the whole song. It's clearly a parody. You know?
I love it. I feel like Tom, okay, so he's got to be one of the most misunderstood artists modern day.
Right.
Because, I mean, he says some really, very important things in a funny, entertaining, very creative way. And, for people to just be like, I'm triggered, I can't watch this guy's a racist. Like, for them to just go into that without giving it a chance. Like, if you haven't listened to at least 10 of his songs, then I feel like you barely even scratch on surface.
Right. I feel like we're just getting into it.
Yeah.
Because we really haven't seen that parody side yet. Right. And we've listened to about 10 songs already.
Right. This is literally this video is like a turning point for us.
Right.
Easy to be me, I'm feeling great. Man, you're so mean, you're so racist. You're ugly, you're so basic. You said that something, N-word, retard, Satan. I can't believe the bullshit song lyrics that you're okay with. Kill yourself while live on Facebook. I want the notification. I don't care, y'all ain't right. I'll be praying that you die. I'll be doing my own thing. I hope you're happy with your life. You're a Nazi, you're a moron. You're a huge waste of my time. I'm just straight and white and male. I'm not the worst, I'm just a guy.
Whoa, that was interesting. Like, she was like, I hope you kill yourself on Facebook and I get the notification. Like, she was like going in on him. And he was just like, I hope you're happy with your life. And it was like almost like the equivalent. Like, what he was saying to her was like equal to what she was saying to him, even though she's literally like basically telling him, go kill yourself. I hate you. You're the worst.
Right, like she was basically, him existing is that to her.
Yeah.
It's just like him saying, go kill yourself, I hate you. And,
yeah.
Just by existing.
Just by existing. He's like, I'm just going to do me. And she's like, oh, like she's so hurt by it.
Triggered.
Wow.
Triggered because he exists.
That parallel was like very deep. And that is a shame.
Yeah, I thought it was accurate. Like there's definitely a segment of the population that feels like that just by people like Tom existing.
That's a true shame because it's like the actual act of existing.
It bothers people.
That's all imagination at that point.
Well, yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
I mean, I would say it's dangerous, but I mean, come on, these people. I don't feel like emotions are that dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's dangerous in theory because they're raising the next generation. So those people, as they grow up, are going to be highly misinformed. But like,
they're gonna have some crazy kids.
Yeah,
Those kids are gonna have it rough being so crazy.
That's the danger, I think. But yeah, they're just gonna complain until.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying with the dangerous part. Is it's not just random people.
Right.
It's like it's in politics too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Actually,
celebrities.
That train of thought is actually in places where it can make a difference and make laws and all this kind of thing. So it actually is kind of dangerous because it's so widespread. It's not just like, oh, yeah, there's a million crazy people in the U.S. Don't have any power in there. There's a million crazy people who hate straight white people and hate everybody, and everyone has to think the same. Like, no, it's not just a million people. There's actually tons of millions of people, and it's also in politics.
Like,
so it actually is kind of dangerous. It sounds cheesy to say because I get what you're saying. People will say Tom's dangerous or his rhetoric is detrimental to our freedom. You know, people say things like that, and it's all hyperbolic and pretty stupid. Right. But I get what you're saying.
But I feel like, you know, hate to bring up the Holocaust, but I feel like that whole scenario, probably everybody was like, oh, you know, like everybody was just like, oh, it's just a politician. You know what I mean? It doesn't affect me. But until something switched to where like the masses believed it, and then before you know it, they're like committing insane atrocities.
Right.
I feel like everything kind of starts like that, though.
Well, yeah. I feel like when you start to view someone as less than human, based on any criteria that you have, then it gives you permission to treat them any kind of way, torture them, do whatever you want.
And they stop hearing, like literally, people will hear this exact type of debate, right? Girl going off on whatever, and it's like they won't hear. He didn't say anything. Like, that was hurtful, that was negative. Like, you know what I mean? They won't hear that. They'll literally hear his existence. So it's literally like they start creating. And, I mean, that's where the problem comes in.
Right, because, like, straight white male is synonymous with that stuff she was saying. You're a Nazi, you're a bigot, you're all this stuff. And all this stuff is, like, subhuman kind of stuff. Right. And nobody likes Nazis. No one wants to be a Nazi. Like, being a Nazi, that's permission for someone to do anything they want to you, and it's justifiable. You know what I mean?
Isn't it so ironic, like, just bringing it back to the Holocaust and Nazis and stuff, that isn't it so ironic that the persecutor is like the persecute, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally switched up.
It's like the person who's accusing someone of something is it?
Yeah.
Like that whole thing.
Yeah. It's like the victim is the, I mean, wasn't that what they were saying? Like, trying to like purify the race or something. It's like they're trying to save whatever. And who knows if that's even true, because I don't believe the history books 1 second. But you know what I'm saying? I just feel like they're literally just like, there's definitely some crazy brainwash stuff going on in modern day.
Right.
Something ain't right.
Right. Like this, where we are as a society, it is a dangerous place. Like, is this the beginning of something horrible? Or is it just a little phase we'll go through?
Right. And you never know.
I mean? Yeah, you don't.
But probably the ones orchestrating it know exactly where it's going.
Where they want to go with it. But they might not be able to get there.
True.
You know what I mean?
Because there's quite a few critical thinkers, and we still have the internet. So we still can keep in touch with each other and stuff. Huh.
I have it all, I'm the one that you love to hate. Straight white man. Police pull me over, I LOL in their face. Straight white man. Guess I'm to blame for the life that you can't escape. Straight white man. It's so easy to be me, I'm feeling great.
Interesting. He's so good at taking a heavy topic and like making it kind of funny.
Right.
That was heavy, I thought. It was uncomfortable.
Really?
I thought.
Why was it uncomfortable?
Well, I feel like, okay. The difference between the If I Was Black and this one is that If I Was Black, you hear that in the media all the time. Like, everything they were saying was like, there's a narrative out there that applies to some people, but it's like promoted. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was kind of like equally bad, but right now it's on a pedestal, that narrative. You know, but this, it's like, I'm sure there's some people that have sex with their cousins. I feel like that isn't being promoted. It's, you know what I mean? It's just like, these are the things people, it's just like the other end of it. You know what I mean? Just as much as the Black Lives Matter and all that does not represent all black people, this doesn't represent all white people. But one side of it, it's like we still kind of can go out there and say that. And like, you know what I mean? To still be black and to go against the narrative is like I don't even know. You know what I'm trying to say?
Not fully, but almost.
Almost.
Okay. So you can be black and go against the narrative, but then you're kind of ostracized.
You are.
So what's the other side you're talking about?
Well, to be white and go against the narrative, I feel like basically there's not a lot of black people coming in and saying, like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like a lot of others.
Oh, okay. So like if you're black and go against the narrative, white people will support you. But if you're white and you go against the narrative, it's not like a whole other community, which don't get me started on communities,
right.
but there's not a whole other community that would support you.
Right. It's like two different
sides. Oh, it's like every other community is against you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's like two different sides of the same coin, except one of them is like on a pedestal right now. You know what I mean? This is just dangerous to me. This is a very dangerous time in history.
Dang.
Because nobody's...
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nobody wants to hear the alternative. Like, white people basically are in a position where you better just get on your knees and, like, just, you know, say yes to everything, you know what I mean? Or your whole life gets ruined.
Right. How is it like that? Because there's so many people who don't support that bull crap. You know what I mean? So, like, how is it? Because you really can get fired just for, like, saying something that's right. Common sense on social media. Like, you could really lose your job. Your family could really be hungry because of it.
Right. Well, I think the corporations are in on it.
But there's, like, millions of people who don't think like that. Like, right. So many millions of people. Tens of millions.
I feel like this is, like, almost like a hidden war between major corporations and everyday people. Because a lot of people say, oh, well, you know, it's just people who don't want to express their opinions, but it's really the majority of people who don't. And I don't necessarily agree with that. Because I know a lot of people who are buying into this narrative. Like, brainlessly buying into this, of all races. You know, like the majority. Like, we went to, like, white schools and stuff, and the majority of people, I've had probably equal number of white people delete me as black people for just not just going with the narrative. You know?
I'm taking a strong stance against the narrative.
more
than not just going with it. Like, some of the stuff we posted on social media in the past.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like not going with the narrative. It was like giving a middle finger to the narrative.
Well, because at the end of the day, like, I mean, something about us that you guys probably have picked up on is, like, we just keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep it 100. And it's like, I mean, some of this stuff, it's like, I can't jump on the imagination train and just, like, pretend that all these things are happening that are not.
Right. It's like, some things deserve a middle finger. It is what it is.
Yeah.
We did what we did. I don't regret it. And then you learned who your real friends were and who they weren't. You know what I mean? So
right.
It had to be done.
Right. And it's just like, also, to me, it's like if somebody is just going to, they can't even have a conversation with you. Like, they just are going to just kick you out their life for good because you have a different opinion than them. That's like saying you like mustard and I like mayonnaise. You don't like either one. So I like mustard and mayonnaise. You don't like anything. And it's like, we can't exist together. Like, that is a psycho that should be eliminated from existing with me, I guess. I don't know.
See, now you sound like them. Now you sound like them. This is subhuman garbage that should be eliminated.
No. But I mean, okay, if they're going to block me, then it's like they did it for me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just like, I like to know when there are snakes in my backyard.
Right.
You know? And it turns out a lot of people these days are way more passionate about, you know, the narrative, whatever, than relationships. So.
Yeah, that's true. It's crazy but true.
This is becoming very top priority, like more than anything else. This is like life or death, number one priority. You know what I'm saying? Comes before anything. And it's
number one priority is getting rid of the bigots and the Nazis. They're all over America. We're infested with bigots and Nazis and racists.
And the craziest thing is that it's people who have never dealt with that are leading.
Right.
It's people who have no idea what they're talking about leading this narrative. Like taking a stance because they actually have time to do that.
I know people that, like, we had Tom MacDonald over for dinner, right? And live streamed it just on, like, Facebook, one of our social media platforms. I know people that would probably cry.
Cry?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Okay, the girl who blocked you. And then my cousin, who is like...
Oh, I know.
You know what I'm talking about? Who like unfriended me way back when the Oscars thing happened. She unfriended me. Yeah. I guarantee you, like some of these people would probably cry and be like, "How could you give him a platform, invite you into your home? Like this is." I really think I know 2 to 3 people who would literally cry, literally.
See, this is the problem. Like somebody can make you cry that easily. I don't know.
I think so. I
don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird because to me, I used to think that like, you know, like they used to say, keep politics away from the dinner table. Like it was kind of like family and, you know, it was kind of like your spirituality, family, all these things first. And then comes like your hobbies and interests and, you know, ideologies. But at the end of the day, all these people are like so far out of reach of everyday people that like that doesn't matter as much as family. But nowadays, it's like you can only sit at the table if you're aligning with these ideas. It's very strange.
Remember, old girl was crying because this is the girl who blocked us, right? She has a mixed son. She got knocked up by her boyfriend. She's black. She got knocked up by her boyfriend in college. So
wait, who's black?
She's white.
She's white.
She got knocked up by her black boyfriend in college. It's funny to say all these races, but
it's
relevant for now. But right, she's white. She got knocked up by her black boyfriend in college. Woo woo wop. Now she's a single mom, right? And she's super into the narrative type stuff. And so she's joining all these groups, and she had posted something trying to support all the narratives, but how she posted it came off wrong. And so then everyone started attacking her, like all these groups. So like a bunch of black people started attacking her and like, just because you have a black son doesn't mean you know anything and all this stuff.
We want to call CPS and his well-being.
Yeah, they're trying to do it.
Yes.
So then she gets on FaceTime with us, and like we're consoling her over some stuff that we don't even support, but like relationships are more important than all the little bullcrap people want to support, whatever. Yeah. But we're consoling her in her time of need when everyone who's with the narrative is attacking her.
Right.
She hits up people with common sense to console her, and then blocks us because of the narrative.
You know what I'm saying? And like,
it's crazy.
Mind you, this relationship it's never been about race. Like I never thought about like race with her. You know what I mean? That's just weird. It's just like, I don't know, I guess a childhood friend, you know, but it's like when you meet people, I feel like before your kind of ideology's tainted and then you start like picking out who you want to meet, you just meet people that you get along with. Race doesn't come into play. You know what I mean? If anything, I would think like maybe race, if they speak a different language and have a different culture and stuff, then it's like harder to be close friends with that person. But not just because of how they look. You know? Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's a good point you brought up, though. That was wild. Like, she literally blocked us. She blocked me because she didn't like something I said. We didn't even have a conversation. She just went off and blocked. And blocked me from her parents. Like, are you kidding me? And then we were there for her over some stuff we didn't even support when she was looking like an idiot dealing with these people who are all idiots. Like, really? Ugh. Don't get me started. Nonsense.
You know her profile picture, it has a little banner on it that says, "Because I have a black son."
She loves
it's right across her profile picture.
She loves to use that, that's why I'm saying this is scary, because it's like a lot of people I know that are involved in this way of thinking like to sort of get an in on it and then use that as like a reason why they should be heard above the rest.
Right.
Because there's another lady that I know, and she has adult mixed children. And she was the one saying we're plants and like, you know, basically we can't really be black if we don't think. And she has mixed kids and she's concerned about their future and people like us. Like I don't know. I feel like she was just like so out of pocket.
She thinks black people couldn't possibly think how we think.
Yeah. You know, and that is the strange thing. It's just like, what are we doing here?
Devolving as a society.
It's a hot mess. Thanks for watching this video with us. Comment below your thoughts. We would love to hear any stories you got, whatever. We're here. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for more, and until next time, that's a wrap.
I don't know. Tell me, man, what do you know? What do you know? Me and my boys on the road. You to go. She told me, boy, you to go. Like, I don't know. But I don't know.